edition of Check It Out. Okay friends, I've got my 2007 Honda Pilot, 160,000 miles or so on it, and I'm gonna change the oil today. I'll walk you through how I'm gonna do it, what I'm gonna use to do the project, and how I can make sure that I am safe as I'm working on my vehicle. So let's talk safety first. And I have some chalk blocks that I'm gonna put on the back tires right here, some real heavy duty ones. I've got my heavy duty ramps right here. The vehicle's in park, the emergency brake is set, and the engine has cooled off. Hey friends, if you don't know how to work underneath a vehicle safely, you need to stop right here, educate yourself on how to do it, and then come on back to this video and I'll show you how to change the oil. Be sure that your vehicle is on level ground as well. As far as materials to do the job, I have some good coveralls. Also, paper towels. Oil will go all over the place. I don't care how careful you are, at least it's gonna get on your hands. And Mobil 1 is the oil I've been using here, full synthetic, as well as a Mobil 1 extended performance filter. I changed the oil on this vehicle about 6,000 to 7,000 miles. As it's aging, I keep kind of knocking it down a little bit more and a little bit more. On my newer vehicle, I go about 8,000 to 9,000 miles on the full synthetic. We'll need a decent set of sockets. This guy is going to take a 17 millimeter to get that drain plug off. Of course, use some gloves. You are going to get oil on your hands again, no matter how careful you are. Here's those chocks I was talking about earlier, and some kind of a container to collect that oil. And again, those nice ramps that I've got here, or some kind of safe way to get that vehicle up. Hey guys, all the products I have here, I'm going to put this on Amazon, so you can look in the description below and check it out. Next, I'll install the chocks behind the back two tires as a safety measure. This is something I strongly recommend. If you're ever wondering what weight oil to use for your vehicle, it tells you right here on the cap, 5W20, and that's exactly what I'll be using for this. So to drain the oil, the first thing I'm going to do is take this cap off. That'll let some air in there to help the oil to drain from the bottom a little easier. Going in underneath the front of the vehicle, the oil, it tells you right here, engine oil, and here's the plug right here. Again, that's a 17, so we'll take that guy off. I've already loosened this a little bit just for demonstration purposes here, but I'll still need that wrench to get this guy off. While I'm taking this off, we'll talk about crush washers. I haven't discussed that yet, and I'll put a link again to the description on the crush washer. I try to change them out each time. However, I kind of inspect them and take a look at it. I feel like sometimes the crush washers look like they're absolutely brand new. Sometimes I'll just use that crush washer again. And sometimes I feel like, well, the crush washer looks like it kind of mushroomed out a little bit. And that, if that's what it looks like for you, then obviously you're going to want to change it out. It's probably a good idea to change it out each time. See if we can get that off. Oh, here it comes. Let's see how little oil I can get on me, which I've learned through the years just seems impossible to get it, keep it off of my hands completely. All right, there we go. I've got my container all ready to go. Got this opened right here so that air can get in there. And of course, make sure your container that you take off this little cap that goes here, right? I had one time where I changed the oil, left this on, and oil ended up filling up and going everywhere. Don't make that mistake. All right, that's looking pretty dark there. So this is, again, 7,000 miles, full synthetic. For some reason, this Honda Pilot, the oil seems to turn darker sooner than some of my other vehicles. So I think I'm gonna continue to reduce the amount of miles I let the vehicle go between oil changes. Maybe bring it down to 5,000 to 6,000 miles between changes, even though, again, it's full synthetic. After the oil has drained out, I'll put that plug back in and tighten it down nice and snug and secure. Give it a good pull there, make sure it's nice and tight. Make sure that you've installed the crush washer, whether it's the old one or hopefully a new one. My next step will be to remove the oil filter, and you can see it right here. So here's where we changed the oil, or here's where we took off that plug. And then right here, kind of sitting under in here, is the oil filter. So I'll take that guy off. All right, and I'll make sure that I've got my catch bin sitting in the right spot for it. And we'll let it drain out of there. Again, Awfully hard to keep this from getting messy, but I'll do my best to keep it from getting too sloppy. And if you've noticed, I put some cardboard down here as well so that those inevitable drops can hopefully make it to the cardboard instead of onto my driveway. Okay, now we have our new oil filter, and I'm going to dip my finger in, get a little bit of that new oil, and spread some of that new oil just to lubricate that rubber gasket that goes around the outside of that oil filter. I'm not going to fill up this filter with oil before I install it, although I have seen that done. And at this point, this filter is ready to be installed. So as I'm twisting it on here, it's going to spin relatively easily until it firms up. And then there at the end, I'm not going to use any tools, but I am going to grab it very tight, and I am going to give it a good firm twist to make sure that it is securely installed. Now I'm going to pour in our new oil, and I'm going to pour it in slow and steadily. You're always better off to add a little bit less and then check that oil level and slowly bring it up. I know just about what this vehicle takes, so I'm going to go ahead and check it now. I put my cap back on. I'll double check that the dipstick's in. I took out the back chock, backed the vehicle off of the ramps, and now I am ready to check the oil level. And let's see how we did. So you can see here that we nailed it. Now I did pull that dipstick out and clean it off, and then I put it back in before I pulled it out this second time. But you can see that it has exactly the right amount that we want to have on there. That looks fantastic. So we'll close it up and we are ready to go. So I am going to drive this vehicle around the block once or twice, double check it to make sure we don't have any leaks, double check it to make sure that level is exactly where I want it to be. And even the next day or two, I will also kind of double check to make sure that oil is right where we want it to be. Hey friends, I hope this video helped you out. If it did, give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. I have several videos about this '07 Honda Pilot and a few other vehicles that we have as well. A 2013 Sequoia and also a 1998 Toyota Tacoma. So if you want to learn about those, subscribe to this channel.